This could be the beginning of humanity's greatest technological upheaval. In a world still tethered to the grid, to fuel pumps, to miles of copper wire and fading batteries, a quiet genius from Zimbabwe may have just broken every chain. Maxwell Chikumbutso's self-powered car isn't science fiction, it's science disruption. No fuel, no charging, no emissions, just infinite motion from an invention that dares to defy physics. When Elon Musk himself breaks the silence to endorse it, the world pays attention. And what they're seeing is more than just a car, it's a revolution on wheels. And nothing will ever be the same again. The day the game changed, there wasn't a press event or global live stream, just whispers that became thunder. Maxwell Chikumbutso, a name few had heard outside tech circles, had done the unthinkable, created a car that runs without fuel or external charging. It wasn't a theory, it moved. Witnesses watched it glide down roads in silence, needing nothing. Not electricity, not sunlight, just an unseen force turning the wheels. The moment Elon Musk acknowledged the vehicle, everything changed. Musk doesn't deal in fantasy, he builds futures. And now he was signaling something even he hadn't accomplished. That moment sent a tremor through the heart of every automaker, oil executive and energy strategist on Earth. Suddenly Chikumbutso's story leapt from obscurity to front-page headlines, not just because of what he built, but because of where he built it. From Zimbabwe, a place rarely associated with world-changing tech, came a disruption that made billion-dollar companies look slow. He didn't just enter the game, he flipped the board, and the global industry had to decide, evolve, or become extinct in the wake of something it never saw coming. Breaking the laws that held us back. Science has long been a fortress guarded by unbreakable laws. Chief among them, energy cannot be created from nothing. Perpetual motion is a fantasy, but Chikumbutso's invention doesn't care about academic comfort zones. His self-powered car seems to defy those boundaries, not in theory, but in action. For decades, the idea of closed-loop energy generation lived on the fringes. Electromagnetic conversion, ambient energy harvesting, these were dismissed as pseudoscience, discussed in forums but never seen on highways until now. Chikumbutso's vehicle doesn't recharge. It doesn't refuel, it just runs. And the silence of its operation speaks louder than any engine roar. Some say it breaks the laws of thermodynamics. Others suggest, maybe we never understood those laws fully in the first place. Physicists are now rereading what they thought they knew. Universities that once dismissed Chikumbutso are reopening doors. Engineers are whispering about quantum resonance and zero-point energy. This isn't about defying physics, it's about evolving it. If this car is proof of a new frontier, then the maps are wrong. And the road ahead isn't just untraveled, it's never existed before. When Musk spoke, the world listened. Elon Musk isn't just a billionaire, he's a barometer for the future. So when he acknowledged Maxwell Chikumbutso's self-powered car, the world didn't just notice, it recalibrated. Musk, the man who redefined electric vehicles, openly nodded to a technology that made even Tesla look dated. And with that, silence turned into panic across the energy sector. It wasn't hype, it wasn't a rumor, it was respect from one innovator to another. Musk's empire was built on batteries, charging stations, and solar grids. Yet here he was, signaling something far more radical. A vehicle that asked for none of it. That moved without tether, without limits. Automakers that once viewed Tesla as their benchmark now had something far scarier to contend with. A breakthrough from outside the industrial powerhouses of America, Europe, or China. Chikumbutso's work wasn't on anyone's radar. Now it was the radar. Because when Elon Musk speaks, the world listens. And this time his words didn't echo from a showroom floor, they came with a quiet alarm. Something bigger is here. And it didn't come from Silicon Valley. The collapse of an industry's blueprint. For years, the auto industry's survival strategy was clear go electric. Billions were poured into battery factories, charging stations, and lithium mining. Legacy car companies pivoted hard, believing electric vehicles were their lifeline in a changing world. Then came Chikumbutso's self-powered car. And in one stroke he made those plans look ancient. This wasn't an upgrade, it was an eraser. No fuel, no battery replacement, no plug-in, just motion without dependence. The carefully designed EV infrastructure, once considered revolutionary, was suddenly obsolete. Charging networks, long-term energy storage, and entire supply chains built around cobalt and lithium now looked like monuments to a soon-to-be past era. Automakers are scrambling. Some are trying to understand the technology. Others are considering how to pivot or buy in before it's too late. Because if this vehicle scales, everything changes. Not in 10 years, not next decade, now. The blueprint the industry followed has been shredded. Chikumbutso didn't improve the system. He invalidated it. And those who can't rebuild fast enough may not survive the next chapter in mobility. Oil empires on the edge. Beneath every oil-rich nation lies more than crude. It's power, politics, and profit. For decades, global dominance has been measured by barrels, but one self-powered vehicle threatens to drain it all. Chikumbutso's invention doesn't just threaten gas stations, it strikes at the very heart of oil empires. Saudi Arabia, Russia, and Venezuela have built wealth and influence on fuel demand. But what happens when cars stop needing fuel at all? The balance shifts, economies shrink, power fades. Overnight the roads could dry up, not from lack of drivers but from the end of dependence. And it isn't just fossil fuels. Solar grids, wind farms, and national electricity networks all rely on centralized energy control. If vehicles become energy sovereign, then people do too. That means communities, entire nations, can operate off the grid. No wires, no rationing, no control. The geopolitical implications are staggering. The flow of energy once dictated the flow of power, but this car doesn't flow, it generates. And in doing so, it doesn't just change the way we drive, it could change who holds the steering wheel of the global order. The science that wasn't supposed to work. Physics textbooks have long declared it impossible for machines to power themselves. Energy must come from somewhere, right? But Maxwell Chikumbutso didn't follow the script. His invention doesn't ask for fuel or electricity, it simply moves endlessly. That really challenges everything science has taught for centuries. Thermodynamics wasn't just a law, it was gospel. Now labs and universities are quietly trying to understand how this works. Ideas once mocked, like zero-point energy and ambient wave harvesting, are suddenly under serious review. No one has the full blueprint. But the fact remains, a vehicle exists, and it runs without input. That's no longer a rumor, it's a reality. And if it can be replicated, nothing is safe. Generators, power grids, even home electricity may be next. This car isn't just rolling on wheels, it's rolling over limits. And the science once used to dismiss such ideas now finds itself scrambling to keep up with what one Zimbabwean mind has already made real. A new road for the forgotten. In many parts of the world, mobility is a luxury. Villagers walk miles for water. Children miss school due to distance. Doctors can't reach the sick. Why? Because fuel is expensive and electricity is unreliable. Chikumbutso's self-powered car could change all of that. No charging stations, no gas pumps, just motion anywhere, anytime. It's a dream for the underserved, a car that works where infrastructure fails. A rural farmer can now transport goods. A mobile clinic can reach the unreachable. The future has always arrived last in these places. But now the starting line might move. This car doesn't just offer transportation, it offers freedom. And not in a theoretical sense, real, practical, world-changing freedom. Maxwell's invention is more than a marvel. It's a bridge, one that connects the disconnected, bringing the promise of modernity to places forgotten by traditional tech. And in doing so, it quietly rebalances the global map of progress. The world rewires itself. Chikumbutso's invention isn't just disrupting an industry, it's rewriting the blueprint of society. Entire economies have grown around the idea that vehicles need fuel or charging. Roads, cities, and services were designed with that dependency in mind. Now that assumption is crumbling. If cars don't need external power, then what happens to gas stations? To utility companies? To the industries built on maintenance, parts, and fuel? They shrink or disappear, and new systems rise in their place. But perhaps the biggest shift isn't mechanical, it's cultural. For once, world-changing innovation came from a place most never expected. Zimbabwe is now on the map, not as a footnote, but as a force. The message is clear, innovation belongs to the bold, not just the rich. And the road ahead may be driven by minds the world forgot to watch. In one quiet workshop, a man built a car that doesn't stop. And with it, he may have restarted the world itself. This isn't just a chapter in the history of technology, it's the start of a new book. One written not in patents or profit margins, but in possibility. Maxwell Chikumbutso's self-powered car has forced the world to look in a direction it never expected, not toward more consumption, but toward liberation. From wires, from fuel, from limits. And as the dust settles, one truth becomes clear. The future doesn't wait for permission. It moves with those bold enough to build it. Somewhere in Zimbabwe, a car is still running, still silent, still unstoppable, and the world is finally trying to catch up.